Black love is something that needs to be really highlighted because it's not highlighted enough. You know, obviously you see black people when they have, you know, struggles and, you know, what the hardships they're going to, so you don't really get to kind of see genuine black love between people.
We're in love and we're black, and
Right.
we know a lot of people like us that are in love and they're black.
Yep.
But we don't see ourselves anywhere when it comes to black love appreciation. So we wanted to create a show where we just highlight and appreciate black love in all of its forms. Really not all of its forms, but its alternative form or its LGBTQIA plus form.
Who do you think taught you about love?
I like to think that I taught myself about what kind of love I required and I was willing to give, but I feel like to know what it means to endure the good times and the bad times with somebody, to know what it means to still be good to them while you feel like they're not being great to you, or just to weather storms, whether you weather it perfectly or you don't, to weather storms and still be able to like be genuine and be kind and be sweet and be caring, all while you want to punch this person in the face. I learned that from my mom, for sure. Just like watching her in her relationships, because that's how she is. But our love languages are very different, me and her. So I learned what love was for me personally, just from my experiences.
I can agree with that as well. Like, I definitely feel like throughout the years, I've learned how I would want to be loved. So I try to give that to the other person that I'm dating. But also, my parents have been together for over 20 years. So for me, seeing them, regardless of if they're happy or they're not happy, we don't have conversations about that. I know what it's like to be in a stable relationship and being with your partner and actually committing to somebody and raising a family with them. So that's what I was raised in. That's the environment that I was raised in. But about like the love languages and things like that, like I definitely know how I would like to be loved. And so I try to make that present in my relationship.
I would say my mom taught me about love. She taught me how to, you know, how to treat a person, how to do right by them, and different things like that. So I would say my mom taught me how to love.
I think my mom taught me love too.
Yeah.
How to love somebody when you're upset.
Yeah.
When
How to stick through it,
yeah,
you know, through it all.
yeah, definitely. My mom
Yeah.
taught me love.
I don't think that, no. Maybe I just learned just watching people around me. I don't think anyone ever just told me what was love. So just the examples around me, I would think.
I think mine was more so from like fairy tales initially, like growing up throughout the years, like the happily ever afters, or at least seeing couples, or well, they were cartoon characters, but go through something and then they always end up where they needed to be or where they were supposed to be. Whether it was like, oh, I kissed a frog and it ended up being my prince.
Did you learn later in life that was good? Yeah.
But yeah, no, like 12 years later, we're back together, so.
That's true.
Kissed a lot of frogs. I felt like I had to go through like a real heartbreak. You know, like I always say in high school, when you have no bills, you have no real worries, like that love where you're writing letters back and forth and meeting them out in the hall to give them a letter, like that's love. And you're like, oh my God, I love this person. But up until you go through something for real with your person is when it becomes real. Whether it's like, hey, I can't make rent this month, or it doesn't even have to be that traumatic. Like maybe I lost my job. Like how do you respond to that person? How do you react to that person? I think over time, that's when I really realized what real love was. And I didn't necessarily look at it like, oh, happily ever after. If I kiss this frog and it's not my prince, like, okay, next frog. It became adapting to life and how you adapted to life, and did your love become stronger? Could you take this person where you're not as annoyed, or even when y'all are at the ugliest places, you still want the best for them or love them, or, you know, fight for who they are to you?
I don't know. I feel like I kind of always knew what love was in a sense. Um, just from my mom and my dad, like unconditional love. They've been together through a whole lot of stuff. But I think probably I had to learn to love myself first, which I had to go through a lot of stuff for that. Which was probably wasn't that good, but it was definitely worth it. So I would say just a little bit of pain, but also just watching my parents do their thing.
I'll say definitely my mom. You know, this just not, you know, just in love in general, not, you know, anything sexual or anything like that. Just love in general. I had love in my, because my mom was a single, growing up, she was a single parent, you know, so she showed me what love is. You know, I was never rich growing up. We never had a lot of money, and she showed me that we can still just having, you know, I'll say my mom and family. That's that unconditional kind of love, you know, that they're still gonna be on your side. So no matter what you do, no matter what happens, I know that I have you guys. So that kind of taught me going, you know, going forward what I need to be to somebody else, or what somebody else needs to be to me. Because, you know, if I can't love you as much as I love my family, if you can't do, you know, what the minimum that my family does, that, you know, what do we have, you know? So if you can't be family, then what do we have? So
Ooh, that's a deep question.
Okay.
I kind of don't know how to answer that. Just, yeah.
Well, I say when it came to my parents' relationship, like they're one of the old school couples where they've been together for 20 plus years,
Right.
but they wasn't necessarily the best for each other. And it kind of showed even when it came to how they interacted, even from once they did have kids, and just with that interaction as well. So for me, how I learned to love was trying to make sure whatever partner I had, I did the things that I didn't see my father do for my mother.
Or they didn't do in the relationship, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think that's the same for me, too.
Because my thing was, I never wanted to make it where my mate didn't feel loved by me every day in some type of way, by something, you know, in action, not just by words. And, you know, when you feel, when you feel love, you share love. That goes from one another to your kids, to everybody around you. Because like when you're in love, everybody feels that shit. you know?
I think more than anything, he's teaching me about love because I don't know anything about it. I know how to love myself, and I just learned how to do that. So with him being who he is and just showing me the way, I think he's teaching me about love.
I would say, my granddaddy taught me about love. Like, God rest his soul. But that was my everything growing up. And I lost him when I was 14. And I guess you could say I was numb to it at first, because it really didn't hit me until the day of the funeral when I actually touched him. I really broke. So losing him was just, yeah. He really taught me everything about love from when I was a little boy.
I'm gonna have to say my mom taught me about love. I didn't really, my father wasn't around, and I didn't really, I don't know. I didn't really get too close to people like that, but me and my mom was like super close. So I think she taught me that. And then probably later on down the line, my kids, definitely.
Through experiences in relationships, past relationships, that failed, what I want, what I don't want. You know what I'm saying? I think every day, that love transforms, you know what I'm saying? So it's always something new to learn about it. So everybody do, really, you know what I'm saying?
Like just having the idea of what feels good and what, like how someone is supposed to treat you and what you perceive as love. I think is if you know that feeling, then you know kind of what you want and how to give it back.
Now,
Yeah, I think for me, I've always been so career driven. And I think a lot of times love has always been in the background. And I think honestly, I didn't truly know what love was. And it was a previous relationship. I had an ex-girlfriend. And she used to always talk about, you don't know what my love language is. You don't know how to love me. And this, and the third. And I never used to listen to it. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, just what you want me to do. Tell me what you want me to do so I can make you happy. But in hindsight of reevaluating that relationship, I learned so much in that relationship about what love is, about what I want, in love, and then how to also try to identify what the other person needs in love. I definitely learned about unconditional love from my parents, but I think the love I learned about from them was a lot different than the love I've learned from actually experiencing relationships and being in relationships. So I guess, if anything, I have to give her the token of as far as really teaching me, because I think that, other than this relationship, that was probably one of my longest relationships, and I think we just went through a lot and I learned.
I'm bisexual too. I had a girlfriend that I talked to for 7 years, since you don't believe it was 8 years. He thinks my math is wrong, but we dated for 7 years, but it was a young love. It was from like freshman year of high school to like college, sophomore year of college. So, it was real young love, but, being with somebody who, because she knew my struggles. It wasn't like I was hiding. It's not like I didn't like boys at the time. She knew my struggles and whatever like that, and she still wanted to be a part of my life, still wanted to be there, and really, taught me that lifestyle, and still was by me no matter what. That kind of helped me grow into the person I am. That kind of, she did help me, but I did have to say goodbye to her, and kind of be truthful to myself and to what I believe in and what I love. So, yeah.
You want to start? Wow. I would say experience taught me about love. A lot of heartbreak, a lot of happiness, a lot of ups and downs kind of like taught me how to love, not just how I should be loved, but how I should love. Because in every relationship, both parties play a part. And I had to learn accountability, and I had to learn how to be what I wanted in return. So I can say experience taught me about love, which in experience, it was a lot of exes that taught me about it. Heartbreak and experience taught me about love. So,
I'm gonna say I don't even really think I was like. This is the first time I felt love. Like, you think you've been in love before and you think you love the person. I think I liked people a lot, not necessarily loved, but I genuinely love this.
Oh, you're so gay.
No, this one taught me how to actually love, and my parents, I kind of patterned myself after them in as far as how to treat somebody or what a family home should be. So I can say my parents. I can't put no relationship on love. I ain't in them.
I think my parents taught me about love. They've been together for 26 years. And they just showed me that through a marriage, like ups and downs, like you can really rock with somebody.
And who taught me about love? My mom and my pops. They just showed me like through it all you can like make it like stick with each other, rock with each other. You know, when one person ain't got it, the other person have it. Like you always got somebody you can lean on. You always got somebody you can count on. Like they show me how to keep a solid foundation. You know.
Definitely. Your love language is definitely physical touch, quality time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I think yours is words of affirmation. Yeah. Mine is physical touch.
Words for affirmations would probably be second. My first would definitely be acts of kindness. I'm a spoiled rat, so I like.
You are.
I like do for me. I'm okay with that. Like I'm 100% okay with that. First.
I've taken a test before, but I don't know what my top ranking like 3 right now. Cause do you remember yours?
Yeah, it's been so long since I took the actual
I know I have
test.
like a screenshot in my phone. I think my top ones was quality time and I think maybe words of affirmation and what was the other one with the service? Was it
Acts of service?
acts of service? I think acts of service is at the very top.
Can I say all? Because I need each and everything on that list, basically.
Yeah, because I know usually, like, if I take it, I'll probably take it, like, once every other year because usually it changes for me.
Right.
It doesn't stay the same. Actually, I don't even know necessarily if I follow the guidelines of the actual love language.
Right.
I just usually just do constant check-ins with my woman to make sure everything is good and do you feel love or do you feel something is lacking or where can I improve?
I don't know his. However, I have an idea of what his is. So his may be quality time and touch for sure. That's for damn sure.
And his is actually quality time.
Pretty much.
I know my love languages. I guess my top 2 would be words of affirmation and time.
And my top 2 is time and what is it? Action.
Yeah, acts of service.
Acts of service.
You know what's mine?
I know it. I just can't think of it right now.
Acts of service and
We talked about
receiving gifts. Which are horrible, I think. Well, acts of service, yeah, because I'm an entrepreneur. And if you can take anything off my plate, thank you. But I feel like receiving gifts is so...
It's a little vain.
It is a lot vain.
Oh, what was mine?
I don't remember. No, yours was... Oh, crap. You took the test.
No. I can't remember.
I can't remember yours either. Was it words of affirmation?
It was words of affirmation. It was a couple of things that were like...
Words of affirmation was like 1 though. And the second one was spending quality time.
Sounds about right.
Such a sap. Well, I'm always telling you how beautiful you are to me. And I tell you, like, I can always tell when you're having a down moment. And I just kind of remind you of, like, how fucking awesome you are. Even if you're like, oh, when you feel like you did something bad with the kids, I'll be like, well, you're totally fine mom, babe. Like, you didn't have a guide to tell you or to show you how to do things. You figured it out. And they're still alive, and they have all 10 fingers and all 10 toes. I think that's pretty fucking awesome.
What do I do?
What do you do, babe? It's the real question. No, you're like Cash App Queen, swear. You were like, oh, because you remember for our last anniversary when I sent you edible arrangements, you was like, oh my God, you beat me to it. And then you Cash App me, I was like, go get your nails done.
That's true, but is that a good thing?
It's kind of like 2 in 1, because then I don't really want to pay for my nails. So that's like acts of service. I didn't have to pay for it, and it's a gift. It's like you kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I actually hate buying things for people.
Why?
I don't know. Because, you know, like, sometimes you may think somebody wants something, but maybe they really don't want it, and it's a waste. So it's like...
Yeah, you can cash at me. That always works.
Yeah.
That always works. That always
Sometimes
works.
people buy me stuff, and it's like...
See, but I bought you stuff, and I always do pretty good.
Yeah.
But I also study you, too.
That's true.
What would you say?
We do all of that.
Yeah, we're affectionate to each other.
I like to kiss you.
Yeah, he loves to kiss. He likes to bite me.
I do.
Something about that.
I just like to bite.
Yeah. So
you know, that was one thing that attracted me the most was your lips. I'm just saying that.
I guess my way would be just randomly kissing on his neck.
Oh
so,
my God.
So you know, if I do that's just me
you
saying
do that.
I love you, but yeah.
You want somebody else?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like, what else? I like to cuddle with you.
You do.
Every time we cuddle, I fall asleep.
Always right.
I always fall asleep. Yeah. And I always lie. You say you're going to go to sleep? No, I'm not going to sleep. I'm like,
here you go. He sleep.
And then I'm asleep.
And I'm just up. Thanks for leaving me out.
You know my love language because I know yours.
This one here is love language is like, come here, we about to, come here, girl. Like, it's weird. Or like I can look in her eyes and be like, okay. But she say I'm the soft one or I'm the mushy one, but this one here is she low key mushy. She's like the hold hands when she's like, I don't want to hold hands, but we be in the car, and if I don't touch her, she just like, babe, why you?
This is true.
So
this is
I'll
true.
be in the bed, and she'll say, you too far, and then I'll purposely get in the bed the next day and kind of like scoot over, like, you too, why are we going over there? So it's like,
my love language is when I want it. When I want to be mushy. Your love language is you want to be mushy. Period. Hold me all the time. Rub my head till I fall asleep all the time. Mushy.
that's comfortable though. They help me go to sleep.
I know. Her love language is and I think I understand it because she hasn't had a partner that cared enough. So her love language is just show me that you care, you know. And she's very simple. Like she doesn't ask for a lot. She doesn't. So the things, she's a woman of simplicity. So hers is just like, can you show me you care? So, again, with experiences, you learn that what may be conducive for me may not be conducive for her. So I definitely try to take into account because I'm not always affectionate, but I know that she is, so I have to consider that. So.
I think that we are still in the process. I think that we are still, I think that every day we learn something new about each other. And I'm not just saying that to be corny, you know what I'm saying? Love is literally a continuous process. You know, I find something new every day that, you know, he likes that he doesn't like, and he vice versa to me. And so we're still learning each other's love language at this time. Do you agree?
I agree. I think that I've in that nagging girlfriend that I have become, because there's multiple times when I'll tell him, oh, we need to take this love language test. We need to do this. We need to do this. And he'll be looking at me like, get out my face. Like, why you keep talking about it? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's funny because I was the same way. But after I learned the importance of knowing the love language or whatever, I think my love language is definitely physical. You know, with touch and that type of stuff. I think that's, you know, what I am, or certain words of affirmation.
And you don't know.
I think I think his love language is more just, I think words of affirmation. I think that's what his love language is. I think everything else is, you know, he likes or whatever. But I think
And to be honest, to say both of us, I think I'm still learning mine too. I'm still confused about my own self. You know, I'm still learning. He's a little bit older than me, you know, so he's a little bit more centered, I'll say, you know. And I'm not saying I'm crazy, but I'm just, you know, I know that he's a little more centered than I am. You know, I'm still finding myself, but I'm not to a place where I don't know who I am. It's just a place I'm still trying to find myself every day, you know. So I'm trying to figure out more about myself every single day, and I think that being with him helps me figure that out, you know. So he definitely tries to do the sensei role a lot, you know, because he is older, you know. He thinks he knows a lot of things, but I do take his wisdom. I do learn from him. So, you know, I'm still learning myself, but being in this relationship definitely helps me. It's definitely a positive impact on my life. I'll say that.
What are my love languages?
You like quality time. You like words of affirmation. You really like affection, or better known as
touch, physical touch.
Yeah. I would say those are your three main.
You like space. I'm joking. You like receiving gifts. I think you like words of affirmation as well. And then I want to say physical touch, but you like space. So then I want to go with acts of service.
I like quality time.
Yeah, you just don't like touching.
No, I do like touching. I just could also sometimes use my own space. But I do like quality time.
Yeah,
like, we don't need to be all on each other like this all the time, but I do like to be where you are.
Because, like, for example, guys, I could be in this room, and I could be on this couch, and she'll be on that couch. And technically, we're spending time with each other. But I'll be wanting, like, cuddle.
And I just want to be on that couch. While she's on this couch.
So, why can't I enjoy you but from over here?
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. Well, okay, so do you think that you love each other in their love language?
I think that sometimes, you know, we know what we want, what we're craving, and that's what we want, and that's what we're craving. And I think other times, you know, we'll compromise, whether we like it or we don't, we'll compromise and kind of give the other person what they need. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Because I think we have some pretty similar qualities. We just go about them differently. So, yeah, I agree with that. It's tough. It's real tough. All right.
I feel like then it was you who said.
Then or now?
Now me.
But then me?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Definitely was her then. For sure.
It was like 10 years ago. Oh, so you can't remember our first date, but you remember who said I love you first?
That first date won't come to me. If I would have known that would have been.
This time is the only time that matters, so you did.
So yeah, I did.
I did. Okay. You told me that you love me. I did. And I didn't say it back.
You didn't.
I was scared. Yeah, I think I remember that. But I remember when I did tell you. And you did too. I know you do. Yeah. But you did. Remember. It was you. It was me. I'm just always, you know, will you be my boyfriend? I love you first, you know. Will you marry me? Yes. All of me. No, it's not all of you. No, it's just that.
She did.
I did. Do you really want to know the story? I don't think I can say that on camera. Yeah. Just.
I said it. I did. I said it first, but this is my thing, and I don't want to take away from it. But you know, I get comfortable with people, and you know, when I first said it, it was just like, you know, okay, I love you. You know, it wasn't like it wasn't, I guess I said it first, but I didn't mean it, at the time. It was like, I love you, jokingly. It wasn't until later on in the relationship when I really felt, put the meaning behind the I love you. It took a little bit more. First, it was just a word, and then it kind of grew down the line. Right? No. It is. That's how I feel.
I'm glad that he admitted that he said it first, because I was like, I just want to see what he's going to say.
I said it first.
He said it first, and it threw me completely off guard, because we weren't even officially together when he said it. I had left and went out of the country with some of my friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, we went to Costa Rica, and so every night when we were in Costa Rica, we would talk or whatever. We'd talk on the phone or whatever before we went to sleep or whatever. And he said it on the phone, and I looked at the phone. I was like, "Nigga, what?" Like,
in my defense. So, like I say, and this is because he doesn't do this with his family, but when I get off the phone with my family, I love you, before I hang up that phone, So at this point, you're family to me, you know what I'm saying? I love you, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it wasn't, I'm in love with you yet, but I definitely love you for what we were, and then it definitely grew into I'm in love with you, and I feel like he kind of felt that too, you know what I'm saying? Because maybe it was a little bit early in the relationship, to throw off the L word, but that's how I felt at that time, and I don't feel bad about it, so.
That's a good question. I don't think it was me. I think you're lying on me. Do you think it was me?
Yes, it was.
Was it during the process of you doing something really amazing to my down there? Because that happens.
No.
Oh.
This
I love you. Okay.
No, we were, it was, I remember. It was one of those things where we were on the phone and we were talking, and it was like we were getting ready to get off the phone, and it was like one of them awkward silence. And you was like, go ahead and say it. I feel it. And I
That's
was
not
like,
like me. Yeah, that was
what?
private.
But I was getting ready to say I love you, but it was like, nah, this too soon. That's crazy. I don't even. But you was just like, go ahead and say it. And I was just like, I love you.
And I said, I know. And then I responded back. I remember. Felt it in my spirit parts deep down.
Yes. So I do things very unknowingly, and I know, for me, I know when I love someone, and I'm not afraid to show it, not afraid to say it. So we was chilling one night, and I knew I was going to say it. Still was working my way how to say it. And with me, music is a big thing for me. I'm also an artist. So I always tell anybody, you can know how I'm feeling or what kind of music I'm playing. Well, this one particular song by Tamar, and it's actually titled I Love You. And I played that for him. Trying to hit him the message. He didn't quite tell me he got it until after, like, what, a day or two later. I was like, why you didn't tell me that when I was there? But yeah, I was wanting to say it first.
Yeah, because I wanted him to just say it.
He did.
Because, I mean, that is cute, the songs and all that stuff. It's cute, but to say it, that's something completely different. So I wanted him to say it.
And I did say it. I did say it.
Yeah.
I was going to admit to that one.
I don't remember it, though.
I'm pretty sure we were in bed.
I'm pretty sure we were not in bed when you said it. God, how did you say it?
Well,
I didn't think you were living here before you said it.
Probably not. But I didn't want her to feel like I was saying it because I was used to saying it in general.
But you said it.
But I meant it.
Yeah. It was before. I want to say we're on the phone.
I want to say we're on the phone.
We're on the phone.
For whatever reason, I feel like
we were in bed. No, when I said I love you, we were in bed.
Okay, that's what it was?
Yes.
There's that.
But when you said it, and then afterwards you made a disclaimer. I don't want you to think that.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I love you, girl.
I was like, I want to say, let me call you back and call my mom real quick, but I'm going to just roll with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely said it before you moved in. I think you said it after the second time you came to visit.
Why are you still prolonging this?
I'm trying to
I don't
figure
remember.
it out. I know,
remember.
but I'm
I don't recall. Plead the fifth. I don't know.
I just know that there was time left before you were supposed to move here.
Yeah.
After you said it. And I felt bad because I didn't say it until like maybe a month or so after you lived here.
I didn't feel bad.
I felt bad.
If you ain't know, you ain't know.
No, I know, but it was just like kind of like I felt like you were like giving so much to me, and I felt like I wasn't giving you really anything, and then I felt bad, and then you were just like, "I love you. You don't have to say it back. That's cool. I just want you to know that that's how I feel about you." And I was just kind of like, every time I didn't know, I would just want to like change the subject, like, or like in my head, I'm like, well, do I say it back to her even though I don't mean it? And I feel like that's a mistake that I choose not to make with people in general. So I was like, I can't be that person that just says it back with no meaning. So I'm just going to kind of sit here like, oh, that's crazy. Want tacos?
Yeah, it wasn't that awkward, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
That is.
I absolutely don't know. I can't even like try to even think of the moment that it happened.
I can't.
I feel like
think of it.
like it probably just came so natural that it didn't.
Yeah.
Like it's. I really honestly can't.
Whoever
remember.
said it, the other person reciprocated, like, and it was it. Really,
I don't know.
It was never a problem with that. It's something that you avoid for a while. You know what I'm saying? And so.
You don't want to seem crazy and shit.
Yeah, and you got to play off of how they feeling, like you know how they treating you and everything. Like, I feel like this motherfucker love me. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you just go for it after that.
Yeah, and it ain't something you kind of just want to throw out there. So you want to try to make sure that the time is right and everybody, and you don't want to say it and the person don't say it back. That's
right.
You like,
so you want to feel comfortable in saying it. Right.
I should have kept that to mind. That's heartbreaking. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to do that.
You know when somebody loves
you.
you.
I think when you ready, when you say it, it's because you know that the person gonna say it back.
Yeah.
I think for sure for me, when I knew I was in love, it probably was maybe after we had been together for a while, and I think it was around, I don't know when it was, but I think it was the first night that we didn't sleep with each other. Like, I think he was at home or wherever, we were apart from each other, and I think that's when I knew for sure, like, I felt like the other side of the bed, like, I felt like I was missing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was missing a part of me. And I think that's when I kind of knew, like, oh, this is real. Like, this is not just, like, we're not just courting each other. Like, you know, this, you know, even if we don't spend the rest of our life together, this is a relationship that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life because this is real. Like, you know, and that's how I felt.
Yeah, I guess with me, it just I guess it just came out of nowhere too. You know, it was at that point where, you know, I'm talking to somebody and I'm always talking about him. You know what I'm saying? Like about what we're doing together and whatever. And you don't realize it, and then your friend, you know, I have a best friend who we talk all the time, Terry. I'll say her name. We talk all the time, and you know, I was talking to her, and I just kept on talking about us, and then she was like, "Man, okay, shut up." You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you okay? Do you like him or what's going on? And because you know, I don't really talk about people like that. You know, even my past relationships, it takes me a while to get to that point. So. You know, when I get to that point, you know, he was all I talk about, whole conversations about what we're doing together and whatever, I guess. And then, oh, dang it. I guess we in love, huh? So, yeah.
For me, she's the first person I actually saw a future with. Because usually I've always felt like it'll just be me, just be chilling. But I actually see her in my future, and I really wouldn't know what to do if she wasn't in
Basically similar answer. Like I said, I'm Nigerian, and growing up in Nigeria, I really wasn't able to express myself as, queer. So finding that person that just makes me radiate that love, and, you know, I feel like I want to be with long term was just amazing, and coming out was a no-brainer for me, regardless of the backlash that I got for that.
Well, with me, I'm gonna say it's you have to touch my heart and you have to really speak to me that and show me that you really care about me or that you love well that you have feelings that way. So for me, that's how I knew how much I cared about him and how much you can say I do wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm the one I fall in love very quickly, yes, but it's all in how a person treats me. It's how and I perceive it. That's how I know if I'm really in love with someone.
Well, I can definitely say when I'm in love with somebody, it's a very interesting feeling because it becomes like almost like an obsession. Like I want to be with them, I want to talk to them. Even if I'm not in the best of moods, I still want to be around them. And the fact that I don't be in my best of moods a lot of the times, I still want to be with him. I want to talk to him. I want to text him, whatever the case may be. I do it.
I knew that I was in love with you when I couldn't stop thinking about you. And I didn't. When we first laid together, you kind of like fit in my arms perfectly. And I slept so well.
Wow.
And I don't sleep well at night. I barely sleep. I've slept so much. I've eaten so much. In the first week of us knowing each other, like I'm just so comfortable. And so when I had to leave the first time and I'm driving back home and I'm in my mind, I'm just like, I don't want to leave. Like, I don't. Why? Why am I leaving? What am I going back to? Why am I leaving? Why? Like, there's this beautiful person here that I see where we could be at. And then going back home and I'm just like, all I'm thinking about is you. All I'm talking to is you. Like, we're spending so much time getting to know each other and speaking, and I'm going to come back and visit you. I'm just like, it was just me realizing that time is short. If I know what I'm feeling, and I've felt it since I first met you and didn't even speak to you, and then I manifested it, or it really came to truth when we spent the first time together and I experienced it. It was at that moment I'm just like, I think I love this girl. But I didn't say it at the time because we just met each other 3 days ago. But, it was just kind of like one of those things. So I definitely feel like my first experience kind of made me think about this. Like, damn, can you love somebody after you literally just met them? And I was like, yeah. And then hence why from the 14th to the 1st I said it.
We were in Miami.
What?
Mm-hmm. We were in Miami.
This is May, guys.
And when I felt like I was in love with you, and we were at this party, and one of my acquaintances were there, and some of Kia's friends were there, and Kia lost something of hers and just blamed my one acquaintance, right? And just didn't consider her friends could have taken or moved or anything, lost, whatever it was, just my one acquaintance that was just there. And I was so mad at her. And so I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm so upset with you. I can't believe that you're this kind of person. And I was like, I want to leave. And so as we were about to leave, she finds what she lost. And then it's like that moment where you're like, oh shit, it was me. But she put such big blame on my acquaintance. And so we're leaving this party. We're on the street at this point. And we're in this huge argument, like yelling in the freaking street, right?
We're walking and yelling. Guys.
Yes. And we end up getting in the car, and like for me personally, I don't like to be confrontational. I will be if I have to be. I don't want to be. And so if I choose not to be, I'll just shut down altogether, right? And so we made this huge scene on the street, and we're in the car, and she's driving, and I was like, I'm hungry. And we passed food, and she didn't stop, and I was so mad because I was already mad, so now I'm hangry too. And so we ended up getting back to our the house that we were staying at, our Airbnb, and I realized, I still have food from earlier. And so I was eating my food from earlier, and she realized she didn't have no food. And so she just like sat beside me in silence, and she was like looking at me eat, like she wanted to she wanted to like ask for some, but she didn't want to ask for any because she knew how mad I was at her. And so she just could have sat there, and then I like gave her half my food, and then we ate in silence. Like nothing was said. And then by the time we were like done eating, and it wasn't even like a lot of food at all, by the time we were like done eating, I don't know, I was still upset, but I wasn't like livid like I was earlier, you know, because I'm a girl and I ate. And we were going to bed or whatever, and even being that upset with her, I still wanted to like cuddle up with her and still lay with her and fall asleep with her. And we did some other things, but that was like the bulk. And I was just like, I really love this person, whether I'm upset or offended at them or not. And yeah.
I remember that moment. It was so cute. I wanted to ask for food, but I didn't. But then she just kind of scooped it and was just kind of like, she gave me a piece. And I'm just like, damn, this girl is so amazing. I'm sorry. I felt so bad. And then we went to bed and had a good night. I remember that.
It's the little things.
It's the little things. That's still probably one of my favorite moments, just to be honest.
I'm just gonna go based off of like this is how I felt like when I loved you. You know what I'm saying? Probably was like maybe like 6 months in.
Okay.
It was like 6 months in.
Okay.
You obviously love me too.
I mean,
6 months in.
obviously.
Well, I recently told her I was in love with her. And it was just because, like, I be dealing with my own stuff, and she been there for me. And I don't know, like, I can't really say it. Like, she just really gets me, like, even, like, I'll do little stuff, and I'll make her mad, but she'll still be there. Like, I feel like other people giving up on me, and she hasn't given up on me.
I feel like I knew then from so long ago. So whenever I got back in touch with her, it was just like I needed her to know all the time that I love you and never stop loving you. So it's important for me to say it all the time because I never want her to think that I didn't. And when we ended, it wasn't nothing, no conversation, no nothing. It was like she came missing from the world and I came missing from the world. So we never got to talk about anything, right? Ever.
Yeah, I'm black
until
queen.
like a while ago, yeah.
I would block the fuck out of you.
Yeah. So it was just like, it was weird, actually. It's pretty weird.
Weird for who?
It was weird for me. It had to be weird for you.
So you go through breakups and want to talk to the person afterwards?
I think you should
Yeah,
talk.
I think that's weird.
What?
No.
That you should not talk to people?
Yeah. Baby, you cheated. What were we talking about? Nothing. You're blocked. Back then, I was the bee's knees. You couldn't tell me that my shit didn't stink. And I mean, it wasn't even like in a cocky way. It was just like, I knew I loved her. I knew that I poured into her. I knew I poured into her kids, and I didn't understand it. So for her to cheat, I was just like, oh, you got me fucked up. You gotta go, and everything that came with you. So I blocked her, and I kept blocking her.
So what made you want to respond this time and take it seriously?
Because it had been 10 years. It had been 10 years. And in a way, I thought that I forgave her up until we like reopened it. And I was just like, oh shit, I don't think I dealt with it the way I thought I did. And then we had to re-deal with it together instead of me dealing with it by myself.
Don't look at me. I always answer first. Go ahead.
How did I know I was in love?
Because I did that one thing. Okay.
I just knew. I knew, like, she makes my insides feel different, if that makes any sense. Like, I noticed the difference between like and love with her, and that was what made me propose to her, because I was just like, I love this woman. Like, I am madly in love with. I've never been around anybody and just been comfortable. She makes me comfortable in all ways. I can be on 1,000, and I'll call her with, like, right here, and she'll say, "Hey, babe," and it'll be like, man, I was just. It's a calming when she's around. Like, when I'm sick, I have asthma real bad. I've never had anyone pay attention to, like, the way I'm breathing and say, hey, you need a treatment, or do you need your meds, or anything like that. But with her, it's like I can be asleep and I guess breathing a certain kind of way, and she'll be like, hey, babe, you take a treatment. Or she'll get up and get it ready and be like, here. And I'm like, this lady genuinely cares for me. I used to be scared and embarrassed about the breathing treatments and stuff, but now it's just like, hey, okay.
You gotta breathe. When did I know I was in love? I think the moment I really realized that I was in love was probably the night of the proposal, because I had been fighting with it for so long. I definitely was not interested in doing anything else serious and long term. But I think that night I was like, gosh, I really am in love with this girl, and I'm still gonna be a thug and act like I'm not. But I think that was like the turning moment for me, that really just, because I saw her, like, we have been talking, but I really saw her heart that night, and I think that was the day. So, that was the day that I accepted it.
I knew I was in love when, I couldn't go today without talking to you. I knew if we didn't talk, that it was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was kind of it. When I knew that my day wouldn't be complete unless I talked to you.
I would say it's just something about a person when you just really can't, like he said, go without them. And it's just like, it's just a feeling. It's just like, what you doing?
Yeah.
Where you at?
It's a necessity.
Yeah, it's like, I want to be near you. I travel a lot for work, so I'm just always ready to get back home. After I've been on the road for 5 days straight, 4 days straight, I just want to get back, to bed. Yeah.
The number one thing is communication.
Yes.
When you're happy, communicate. When you're not feeling your best, communicate. If you have a problem, communicate. Communicate every step of the way. That's the key to any successful relationship, any healthy relationship.
Yeah, because nobody can read your mind, so always talk about, every feeling or emotion that's inside you, basically.
No matter how small it is. Because even if it is something where you have a problem, it allows the opportunity for it to be resolved.
And you don't want situations to kind of linger on, so
it's better to nip it in the bud while it's early. Yeah. That's it.